Giant animals attack zoo visitors. The Avengers arrive at the scene. Stark asks Ant-Man to skin the animals to understand what happened to them, while the rest of the Avengers are trying to drive the animals into the aviaries. The cattle skin the animals. He says there are no traces of radiation. The animals have simply mutated to their maximum characteristics. Hulk and Thor try to stop the distraught elephant. The Dream throws Thor into the wall. The warrior Zarda from the Supreme Squadron appears. She fights with the animals and puts them to sleep with a mysterious gesture. Thor recognizes this gesture and realizes that once he and Zarda fought on the same side. Stark wants to attack the bear with a repulsor, but Zarda jumps and covers the beast with his body. The Avengers manage to drive the animals into the enclosures, and Tony puts energy barriers over the pens. Ant-Man says that the mutation is temporary. The animals return to their usual appearance. The Avengers are trying to find out from Zarda why she helped them, but the warrior hits the ground with her hammer and disappears in clouds of dust. In the tower, Tony tries to track down where Zarda disappeared. Thor tells the Avengers that he fought with Zarda on the same side in Muspelheim. All the warriors who fought there took the oath of a warrior. Zarda cannot serve Black Hawk, since he has no honor. The Avengers do not trust Thor's opinion. Thor leaves. Thor finds Zarda in the land of the ice giants. They fight the giants side by side. Zarda says that the Black Hawk promised her the opportunity to restore order among weak people. This is a great honor for her. Thor offers her to fight with the Avengers, but Zarda considers the Avengers weak. Zarda tells Thor that there is a better place to fight than the land of giants. Zerd invites Thor to his invisible plane. Now Thor understands how Zarda disappeared from the zoo. Zerd brings Thor to the island she created. She creates a huge dragon. The dragon attacks Thor with a jet of flame. Thor hides behind a stone. He throws a hammer at the dragon and it falls far into the forest. Thor hands Zarda a flower as a sign of gratitude for the opportunity to fight such a rival. Zarda says that his fight is not over yet. The dragon presses Thor to the ground, but he throws the monster away with a hammer. Zarda creates stone trolls and joins Thor in battle. Green waves disperse from the island. The Falcon reports in the Avengers Tower that a tsunami is coming to the city. Jarvis says that he records seismic activity. Thor offers Zarda to join the Avengers, but the warrior refuses, answering that she always fights on the side of the strongest. Zarda offers Thor sparring. If Thor wins, she will leave the squadron. If Thor loses, he will leave the Avengers. Zarda attacks Thor. He throws his hammer at her. The warrior hits the hammer with her sledgehammer and Mjolnir flies far beyond the island. The Hulk jumps onto a platform in the middle of the sea and sees Thor's hammer flying past. The Hulk grabs the hammer and flies with it. Zarda continues to attack Thor. Thor summons his hammer. The warrior throws Thor away and he crashes back into a rock. Zarda offers Thor to unite. Because they are higher than the squadron or the Avengers, Thor's hammer returns, and with it the Hulk. The Hulk knocks down Zarda. Thor is dissatisfied with the Hulk's intervention and hits a friend with a hammer. The Avengers evaluate ships and boats from coastal waters. They see a huge wave coming towards the city. Ant-Man and Stark remake Tony's energy cells. On the island, Hulk tells Thor that cataclysms are happening around the world because of their battle with Zarda. Tony manages to stop the wave. The captain says that you need to find source of seismic activity. On the island, Hulk tells Thor that Zarda is manipulating him. Thor lowers his weapon. Then Zarda turns the Hulk into a monster. The Hulk mutates, like the animals in the zoo. Thor realizes that Zarda set it all up. Thor does not want to fight with a friend and throws a hammer. Thor breaks Zarda's sledgehammer and the Hulk becomes the same. Zarda flies away on his plane. The island goes underwater. The Hulk and Thor are saved by Iron Man. Zarda returns to Black Hawk and says the Avengers must be destroyed. In the tower, Thor and Hulk are playing video games, but then they jump up and run to the training hall to fight. Captain America and Iron Man are sailing through the citadel of the Supreme Squadron. The captain believes that there may be clues to the Black Hawk's plan. Tony connects the Avengers Tower's arc reactor to the Citadel's power core. He orders the Falcon in the tower to turn on the power. The light turns on in the Citadel, but the Falcon says he hasn't done anything yet. Stark, realizing that this is a trap, the Falcon loses contact with Cap and Tony. Mstigit flies towards the Citadel. Suddenly the captain's shield flies through the window. The roof of the Mstigit is torn off by Hyperion. Black Hawk throws the Iron Man helmet at the feet of the heroes. The Hulk rushes at Hyperion, but the villain drives it into the floor of the Mstigit. The Widow takes the captain's shield. Black Hawk teleports the Avengers and Squadron to different places using a device on his arm. Ant-Man, Thor, and Hawkeye find themselves in an abandoned factory. They are attacked by the Speed Demon and Dr. Spectre. Spectre turns on the power, and all the machines in the factory begin to work. The Hulk and the Widow find themselves in the middle of the snow. They fight with Zarda and Hyperion. The Hulk drives Hyperion into the snow. The Widow attacks Zarda with the Captain's shield. The Falcon contacts the Avengers. He ended up near the Statue of Liberty. The Black Hawk will attack the Falcon. The Speed Demon takes Barton's quiver and throws an explosive arrow at Clint and Thor. Dr. Spectre causes Scott Lang's fear. A huge ant appears behind the hero. Thor throws a hammer at the Speed Demon, but the hammer cannot catch up with the villain. The Falcon advises using wind. Thor creates a whirlwind. Barton uses an arrow with foam and stops the Speed Demon. The Falcon tells Scott to overload the plant's reactor. The cattle shrink and the giant ant bites the power cables. An electric charge hits Spectre and he falls. The Falcon fights the Black Hawk. The Widow tells him that he knows more about the squadron than anyone else, so he must command the Avengers. Zarda knocks out the Widow's shield. Natasha will fall into the snow. The Falcon tells her that Zarda is sensitive to electricity. The Widow throws her electric bracelets at Zarda and the warrior will fall unconscious. The Hulk beats Hyperion on the ears and then strikes with 2 fists under the chin. Hyperion flies into the sky. The Black Hawk activates another trap. The Avengers Tower begins to glow. Jarvis says that the Hawk wants to move the tower to another dimension. The Hawk attaches a device to the Falcon's suit that disables the wings. The Falcon clings to the Hawk's plane with a cable. The villains come to their senses at the factory and attacks the heroes. Hyperion returns in the snow and beats the Hulk. Zarda throws the Widow on the snow. The Falcon attaches a cable to the roof of the building and stops the Hawk's plane. Sam removes the teleportation device from the villain's hand and returns friends to New York. Unfortunately, the squadron teleports along with the Avengers. The battle continues on the streets of the city. The Falcon says that we need to go to the tower. Sam says that we need to change tactics. Barton shoots at Zarda through Thor's lightning. The Hulk stops the Speed Demon with the help of the Falcon. Ant-Man reduces Hyperion. The Avengers resort to the tower. The protective field throws the Ant-Man. Thor uses lightning and punches a small hole in the defense. Lang reduces the Falcon and it flies into the tower. The Falcon redirects all the energy of the tower into space, but something intercepts the beam and directs it into the sea. Sam understands. The energy goes into the Citadel. The squadron ship rises from the bottom of the sea. Jarvis detects the captain's signal. Thor stays to fight with the squadron. The rest of the Avengers go to the Citadel. Thor fights with the villains. Zarda, Hyperion, and the Speed Demon knock him down and keep him on the ground. Thor calls the hammer and throws the villains away. Falcon and the rest of the Avengers free Tony and the Captain. The Widow returns the Captain's shield. The villains beat Thor. The Falcon says that the Citadel was sucking energy from the planet. The villain Yuck appears before the Avengers. He says that he knew that the Hawk would find a way to revive him. The Falcon orders Thor to throw a hammer at the Citadel. Thor executes the order. The Citadel explodes. Hyperion deals Thor a crushing blow. Yuck appears from the clouds of smoke and joins the Supreme Squadron. The villains capture Thor and fly away. Thor's hammer falls on the battlefield. The Supreme Squadron proclaims its power over the planet. Black Hawk declares that the Avengers have been destroyed. The streets of cities are flooded with villains' drones. The reduced Avengers descend from the hammer handle. The captain says that the Supreme Squadron thinks they are dead, which means the Avengers have the advantage. Dear friends, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. This is important to me.